My name is Diane Lampmann. I am a single mom of Olivia, who's 9, and Lucas, who is 7. And I am a small group leader for 4th and 5th grade. I've been with my kids since they were 3. And I will have to let them go this year, so I will be very, very sad. And I get to start it all over again. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I've pretty much been in Sky Kids since I first started about 10 years ago. I've been part of a life group since I started Skyline. And I've built real friendships that I never dreamed I would have. And not just like one. I have multiple women in my life who I can go to for wisdom, and it's just healthy relationship. I never had a healthy friendship growing up. There was always drama associated with it, so joining a life group was, I would say, a baby step for me. And continuing on, it got a little bit tougher when I started finding out truth of what to do in my marriage and how to be the wife that God wanted me to be. And in that, God placed on my heart that I had to come clean about some things that I had done in the past, which was very difficult because this wasn't just a little baby step. It was a step that was actually going to cost me. It was a sacrifice. When God's asking you to take a step, it's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost your pride. It's gonna cost embarrassment. But I was like struggling with it for a while, and I said, okay, God, like I'm gonna obey and I'm gonna trust you with this. I went to my husband and I did talk to him about the things I had done in the past. After a while, we were trying to work on things, but he decided that it was hard. It was too hard to work out. We started with the divorce proceedings, which was really difficult in itself because I was a mom who was a stay-at-home mom, and I had a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old. I hadn't worked in years. I had basically no money coming in, and how was I going to take care of my babies? And as anybody could imagine who's ever been through a divorce or has been part of a divorce, a child or growing up, it's extremely emotional and you need a huge support system. Because I had taken those steps of obedience with God in the beginning and making relationships and building relationships with the women in my life groups, I had to support. And there's so many temptations that come along the way, but I had this huge responsibility of being able to provide for them and the stress of where am I gonna live? Who's gonna watch my kids? How is this gonna work? I need to get a job. I specifically remember struggling with God for a long time about getting a job. And nowadays society's like women power and we support ourselves and we can do it all. And that's not what God was telling me. God was telling me, no, they need you right now. And I was like, but I'm 4 months behind on my rent. My electric just got shut off. Like, how is this even gonna work? How is this gonna work, God? Trust me, I'm going to take care of you. So I stopped the job searching and the divorce proceedings continued. It seemed impossible. The situation I was in was impossible. There's no way that it would have worked out the way it should have worked out, but it did. I was able to stay home with my kids, and I was able to pour into them the way I thought God asked me to. So the fruit that I've seen in my obedience, I would say that I have 2 incredible kids. My daughter is feisty, but she's strong. And I see her loving God with passion. I don't think she would be the little girl she is if I didn't have that time with her. And Lucas, teaching him to be a boy and to have fun and do things that were hard that, not necessarily were easy, mama's boy, but no, we got to be tough sometimes. I wouldn't have been able to do the things I wanted to do with him if I was working and exhausted, and it was always stressful. There was not a point where it wasn't stressful, but I chose in those moments to have joy. God is the God of the impossible. He makes things possible. He just asks you to take steps, and my job is to obey, and he's responsible for what happens. He's responsible for me. He's responsible for Livy and Lucas. I can only do what God is asking me to do. I can't take the responsibility of making sure this is right or that's right, or have control over this and have control over that. I have to be the woman God is asking me to be. They have to watch that. And the biggest example for them to see is me watching God, follow God, obey God. And that's all I can give them. The rest is up to God.